Hello, Fall Renewal beauties. It's so good to be here with you. I'm Carrie Grote, and I'm here doing the cleanse right along with you. I've been in Lisa's cleanses for about a year now, and like most of you, I love them. So when Lisa asked me to be a guest expert to talk about how food and our feelings are connected, I was so honored and humbled because this isn't my business. I don't have health and wellness credentials or certifications, but what I do have, like a lot of us, is my own food story. And my food story, a big piece of it for much of my life was that food was the enemy. I was constantly thinking about what can I eat? What can't I eat? How many calories are in that? And of course, it was all connected to, this idea about what my body should look like. And that was my journey for years and years. And I was thin and I was morbidly obese. And I gained and lost hundreds of pounds. And the common thread through that entire journey up until a few years ago was that I hated my body. I couldn't look in the mirror. And then, one day it occurred to me, how can I take care of myself when I hate myself? And suddenly, a little light went on. And it wasn't overnight, but I will tell you that I picked up my scale and I threw it in the garbage. And that was the beginning of a different relationship with food and a different relationship with myself. So I've lost close to 100 pounds, but that's not really, what my story is about. It's really about learning to be comfortable in the skin I'm in and learning to love myself, body and soul. And it's a practice. I still have crappy days like everybody else. But I wanted to share with you 3 things that have helped me in that journey. And so much of it is about connecting our food and our feelings. And so I hope that these will be helpful to you too. Feelings, we avoid them unless they're the really good ones. But a lot of times, especially during a cleanse, when we're cleansing ourselves, our emotions are getting, roiled up a little bit too. So feelings are going to come to the surface, and that's so normal. The important thing is to sit with them and not shove them away, not push them down with food, which we've all done before too, right? Nutella, yeah. Journaling is a great way to get in touch with those feelings because inside those feelings are nuggets of gold that are telling us how we can be loving ourselves a little bit better. And sometimes it's hard to just sit there with a blank page and go, okay, what am I writing? So something that I sometimes will do is I'll actually write to the feeling. Dear anger, what do you need? Dear shame, what are you trying to tell me? And it's really interesting what can come out of that. So I invite you to try that, as you're going through the cleanse or after the cleanse, and see what comes up for you. Another thing that I have found to be really helpful for me is really connecting to my body, especially those parts of my body that I don't like that much. And we've probably, you all probably have that same thing going on. And there's something about just showering that part of your body with love and attention that is a beautiful act of self-care. So for me, it's my legs. And, I've got this really great smelling, body oil that I'll put on after the shower. And I'll spend extra time on my thighs, and have a little conversation with them. Thank you, legs, for holding my body up, letting me hike and do yoga and get from point A to point B. I have a friend, who doesn't always feel so good about her stomach. And she was telling me once she'll talk to her tummy and say, thank you, belly, for holding my guts in. So try that. Our bodies are amazing, beautiful things, and we're so judgmental and hard on them. And really, they are working so hard for us, no matter what shape or size they are. And finally, I think there's something really, really great about being present with our food. What does that mean? I think it's not uncommon for us to sit there and just kind of shovel it in, whether it's healthy food or, our 20% treat that we're giving ourselves. We're not always really conscious of what we're putting in our mouth. And there's something about really taking just a minute or two. It doesn't have to take much time, but to think about where that food on your plate came from. Butternut squash. It started out as this little tiny seed, and now it's this glorious vegetable on your plate. So think about the farmer who planted that seed. and the energy and work and love that went into growing that plant and harvesting that squash. And now it's here on your plate and you're feeding yourself and nourishing yourself. um, there's great self-love and self-care in just thinking about those connections and how we're able to feed ourselves in a nourishing and loving way. So I hope that's helpful for you. So honored to be here. I will see you in the Facebook group. And in the meantime, I hope you have a glorious day filled with self